Hi, I'm Mary Carroll. I taught English for 14 years, and for my master's thesis from Northwestern University, I earned the Distinguished Thesis Award. I've designed this course to help you write your college papers. I want to help you actually get your words onto the page. I want to help you learn to write intelligent sentences and develop logical arguments. You can subscribe in the little yellow button over on the corner. I post every single Monday. And feel free to ask questions about specific papers you're working on down in the comments below. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about semicolons. This is a slightly unusual bit of punctuation. You might want to think of it as nothing more than a comma on steroids. It provides an extra weight of pause when you need it. Let's take a look at some instances. All right, the first instance is it unites closely connected short sentences. And when I say closely connected, I mean closely connected in ideas. All right, let's take a look. In which the second sentence emphasizes a new point about the first sentence. She did not rent, she purchased. Easy enough. The semicolon stops the idea of her being a renter and adds the idea of her actually being empowered and being a purchaser. Okay? Now, could you make these two sentences? Yeah, you could. But the point with using a semicolon is that you decide the ideas are closely connected enough that you don't want to separate them with a period, and so you choose to just use a semicolon. Okay, next one. Sometimes that second clause is a contradiction of the first. This one actually adds on a little bit of an idea to the first. In this case, you're going to get a contradiction. The pleasure seeker is not evil, he is simply hedonistic. All right. You can also use a semicolon to separate items in a series only when one of the items in the series has some additional internal punctuation like periods, hyphens, quotation marks, things like that. Let's take a look at an example. I wish to thank the team members who got us to this point. Neil Summers, product manager, Claire Garner, comma, senior design lead, Martha Denoyer, comma, marketing manager. You can see that we've got periods and commas in the middle. For each one of these series, we're abbreviating the titles and so on, and so you're going to use a semicolon in between all of those. Now, your items in a series don't have to just be a list like this. They can literally be a series of clauses. So let's take a look at one of those examples. Okay. By 1957, Malik's parents had started a candy store, a dry cleaners, and a fabric store, semicolon, sent their son to college, semicolon, and moved the family to Kansas City, semicolon, all with the inheritance from the family's mortuary business. Now notice you got a series of clauses here, but it's only in the first one where you have any extra internal punctuation. You don't have to have had internal punctuation in each of these clauses. As long as one of them has extra punctuation, you need to separate them with semicolons. Okay? Easy enough. Next one. A semicolon can be used just to provide a dramatic pause whenever you want one. Let's take a look. Church membership never guarantees friendship. It makes room for them. Now, notice these are two separate sentences. You could use a period and a capital there, but you don't. Their ideas are connected closely enough that you want them to stay together, but you want that dramatic pause that isn't quite as big of a pause as a period, more than a comma, right in the middle. Use a semicolon. Here's another one. Not everyone who makes it in Hollywood graduated from a famous college, and not everyone who attended that college made it. Okay? Adventure vacations can be life-changing. It all depends on the guides. Now, this is another way where you can just give one of your ideas some kind of weighty pause. This use is discretionary. It is not mandated. Again, it is not mandated. This is a complete sentence. They're both complete sentences. But if you're writing something and the ideas are related closely enough and you want to keep them together in the same sentence, you may use a semicolon. The AJ kennel closed last winter. Michelle has no place to leave her dog. Our usual store ran out of toilet paper. We had to go to the next town east of us. The choice above is very clear. You can either use the period and a capital on the next sentence, or you can use a comma and a conjunction, or you can use the semicolon and lowercase on the first word of the next sentence. For free infographics, see the website below. Our next lesson is going to be the correct use of the colon. See you then.